A valley of fear. Two armies faced each other, separated by a deep valley. On one side stood the terrified army of Israel. On the other, the fierce army of the Philistines. But the real battle was being fought by just two men. A giant warrior who had never lost, and a small shepherd boy who had never fought. One was a champion of a nation. The other was a champion of God. Welcome back to Gospel Glimpse. Last time, we witnessed the surprising story of how God chose a humble shepherd boy named David to be the next king of Israel. Today, that very boy is about to face his first, and most iconic, test. It's a story that proves it doesn't matter how big your enemy is, it only matters how big your God is. Get ready for the epic and inspiring story of David and Goliath. The Philistines had gathered their army for war. They stood on one hill, and the Israelites stood on another, with the valley of Elah between them. And then, from the Philistine side, came their champion, a giant warrior named Goliath. He was a terrifying sight. He stood over 9 feet tall, with a bronze helmet on his head, a coat of scale armor weighing 125 pounds, and a spear with a head that alone weighed 15 pounds. For 40 days, morning and evening, Goliath would come out and taunt the Israelites. "Choose a man and have him come down and fight me," he would roar. "If he kills me, we will become your slaves, but if I overcome him and kill him, you will become our slaves and serve us." King Saul and all of Israel were terrified. They were frozen with fear. No one, not a single person, was brave enough to face this giant. Meanwhile, a young shepherd boy named David was at home, far from the battlefield. He was sent by his father, Jesse, to take some food to his brothers who were fighting in Saul's army. When David arrived, he heard the giant's taunts. He saw the fear in his brother's eyes. He heard the soldiers whisper, "Who is this uncircumcised Philistine who defies the armies of the living God?" David, with a heart of courage and faith, was confused. What will be done for the man who kills this Philistine and removes this disgrace from Israel? He asked. When his older brother, Eliab, heard him, he was angry. "Why have you come down here?" he said. "With whom did you leave those few sheep in the wilderness? I know how conceited you are and how wicked your heart is. You came down only to watch the battle." But David ignored him and kept asking questions. Soon, his words reached King Saul. Saul sent for the boy and said, "You are not able to go out and fight this Philistine. You are only a young man, and he has been a warrior from his youth." But David was not afraid. "Your servant has been keeping his father's sheep," he said. "When a lion or a bear came and carried off a sheep from the flock, I went after it, struck it, and rescued the sheep from its mouth. The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine." Saul, convinced by the boy's unwavering faith, agreed to let him fight. He even gave David his own armor, but it was too big and too heavy. So David took it off. Instead, he took his shepherd's staff, his slingshot, and 5 smooth stones from a stream. The giant Goliath saw the boy coming towards him and was insulted. "Am I a dog, that you come at me with sticks?" he mocked. "Come here, and I'll give your flesh to the birds and the wild animals." David, with quiet confidence, replied, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and I'll strike you down and cut off your head." As Goliath began to move in on him, David ran quickly toward the giant. He put a stone in his sling, aimed, and let it fly. The stone hit Goliath right on the forehead, and the mighty giant fell face down on the ground. David, who had come to the battle with no sword, took Goliath's own sword, cut off his head, and held it up for all to see. The Philistines, seeing their champion dead, turned and fled in terror. The Israelites, now filled with courage, chased after them, securing an incredible victory. The story of David and Goliath is so much more than a battle between a boy and a giant. It's a powerful lesson that the true measure of a person isn't their size, their strength, or their armor. It's the size of their faith, David didn't fight for himself. He fought for God's honor. He knew that the victory didn't depend on his own strength, but on the power of the living God. It's a timeless reminder that with God on our side, no giant is too big to fall. What's the biggest giant in your life right now? A fear, a challenge, a bully. Remember the story of David and know that you too can face your giants with faith. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing Bible stories. Thank you for watching.